Good morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care. So if you were into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So today we are going to talk about how I retained my length for the year of 2023. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first, let's kind of talk about some disclaimers and let's kind of do some talking points. So the very first one is that my last video, for me, that count is viral. I appreciate y'all, I love y'all, and thank you so much for the support. With that being said, my channel grew a couple thousands of people. So I want to say to you guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for joining the community. In that video, I'm trying to get to all of the comments, but it's just a lot, okay? But I'm saying that because as I was going through the comments, I realized a lot of people were asking for hair advice. A lot of people were asking for the tutorial for how my hair was in that video, okay? So I will link all of that down below. Hair care, mini twist, jumbo twist, wash day, and I will link that hair tutorial, okay? That way it's right there for you. It will be in the description. 3 things that we need to get out of the way. The very first one is this all mine? Is my hair mine? Yes, it is. I will post either right here or right here the short that I posted yesterday, you know, as Maya Wilkes would say from Girlfriends. Yesterday in that short, y'all were all up and through my roots, right? My hair is mine. However, I am fully aware that there are women online and in life who are perpetrating, whether it be with a wig, whether it be with weave, or whether it be extensions, okay? But the hair on my head, the hair that y'all see now and the hair in its natural state is mine, okay? The second thing is, which I get a lot of questions about, especially when my hair is straightened or especially when I straighten my hair. Am I black? 100%. I am black. I claim it. That is what I am. That is what I will always be. My father was African American. He was born in Martinsville, Virginia. My mother is Jamaican. Okay. Now I will say this: if you know, you know. You don't, you don't. Because of my complexion, because of my mother's complexion, because of our hair texture, in Jamaica, we would probably be considered, or people would probably use the term coolie, or we would be referred to as a coolie, right? The second thing, because I saw this comment a lot in that video, and since people are watching that video, people are watching other videos, and people keep making this comment or keep commenting genetics. This is what I will say about genetics. Genetics plays a part in how fast your hair grows. Genetics plays a part in maybe how dense or how thick or how fine your hair grows, right? But as far as having long hair, that is not genetic. You can hop on YouTube right now, and there are several women who give their natural hair story. Their hair is either as long as mine or is longer. I will give you the perfect example. I believe it's Eb's Curl TV or Ebony Curls TV. Beautiful woman, beautiful hair, right? In her hair story, she takes you through everything. And I believe she started out with like relaxed hair that was like right here. I don't remember the exact time frame, but I do believe a couple of years ago, she cut her hair, and when she cut it, it was way past her butt, okay? So this thing about genetics is kind of another myth that we need to dispel. Okay, so let's talk about growth versus retention, right? Because I want to make sure that you guys understand what this video is about. This video is about how I retained my length. It's not about how I grew my hair, right? Your hair is always growing, and especially when it comes to hair, the natural hair community and the Black community, we always talk about, you know, how do I grow my hair? Hair growth supplements, hair pills. How do I grow my hair? How do I grow my hair? Your hair is always growing, and we just discussed talking about genetics. That more so dictates how fast your hair is growing, right? Your hair is always growing. What we want to do is we want to be able to retain the length that we grow. You know, not having a trim turn into a full-on cut. You know, having, you know, your hair grow and then not being able to retain or keep your length because your ends are scraggly, or they are just so thin, or they just are breaking off, right? Sometimes we use the word growth and retention interchangeably, and they are 2 different concepts, right? So as I said, growth, your hair is always growing. Genetics can dictate how fast your hair grows, but we want to make sure that as we are growing our hair, we retain the length so we can see the growth, right? Okay, so the very first tip that I want to give of how I was able to retain my length for 2023 is going to be trims. Trims, trims, trims. I know this is a controversial topic when it comes to the Black community, the natural community, and just really in general. Okay, so I want to show you what I mean. In 2022, I realized that I am not that natural. I am not the natural that can just trim their hair once a year and be done with it. That's not me. That's not my life, unfortunately. So January 22nd of 2023, I actually got a trim. For me personally, I think it turned into a cut. I asked the woman, she did a great job. So I'm showing you the after. I asked her whatever she needed to cut to please cut at least an inch or a half an inch above that. She ended up cutting around 4 to 5 inches in different places, right? So this is what you see now, okay? And now I'm going to show you how long I was able to not grow my hair, but the length that I was able to retain, okay? So if we're looking at this video, you can see that in the front, my hair is basically coming down to my pelvic bone. And then in the back, my hair was basically sitting at the top of my butt. This year, I did trim my ends 3 times, right? So you have 4 months and I trimmed 3 times. So when I get ready to trim it in January and start over, I should only have to cut about an inch or maybe an inch and a half, okay? But trims. For me personally, I am not that natural. Also, I do want to say this. I used to be that woman, or I used to be that natural who wanted length over health. I am not that person anymore. If it's split, if it's damaged, it's gotta go. One of the reasons why it is about healthy ends. It is about full hair. Y'all know I like big hair. Y'all know I like full hair. But one of the things that I really, really came to realize when my ends were properly trimmed or properly cared for is my hair care regimen, wash day, was so much easier. I was not struggling to detangle. I was not struggling to style. I was not struggling to re-moisturize. So it is about the health, but it's also about just the maintenance throughout the year, right? It's about the maintenance and the lesser time that it took for me to actually do my hair. My next tip is low manipulation. I've said this before in many of my videos, especially when it comes to hair care tips and things like that. Low manipulation, low manipulation, low manipulation. For me personally, I find that my hair thrives when I leave it alone. When I say low manipulation, I mean I install my mini or my jumbo twist and that's it. I don't do these crazy hairstyles. I don't have these really, really tight ponytails. I don't have these really, really tight chignons or top knots or anything like that. I keep my hairstyles very simple. You guys will notice if you've been watching my channel, I basically have 2 hairstyles. Number 1, it's the one where you guys were requesting the tutorial. So it's kind of like swoop tier, and then it comes into a bun in the back. And then that, bouffant, that 50s style or, retro bouffant that I have. That's really it. If I am not filming, if I am not going out, which I still do go out in head wraps. You guys know how I feel about head wraps. But if I am in the house, and I might be cleaning the house, I might be working, I might be listening to emails. There are days where I do not touch my head. And what I mean by that is I will wrap my head for night. I have a bonnet. I will throw on another silky bonnet and then I will throw on a head wrap. That has been a 2-3 day thing. If there is no need for me to touch my hair, I'm not going to touch it, right? I do leave the house in head wraps, but I'm just saying while I'm in the house, I do often wear head wraps or I keep my hair pulled back, right? And the reason being, and I know a lot of women find it very difficult to grow their hair when it reaches a certain length. It's probably like right here. And the reason being, and that's why I'm saying low manipulation, which is going to bring me into my next tip. But the reason why is because your hair keeps brushing up against your shirt, right? And it might be a very rough material and it's going to cause friction and it's going to cause breakage, right? But the less that I do to my hair, I find that it thrives, which brings me into my next tip. It's going to be keep your ends tucked. I know you're tired of hearing it. I know we have my wash and go sisters out there. I take no issue with wash and goes. I think they're beautiful. We're just not friends. But I keep my ends tucked. Of course, right now my hair is out and it will be out for the next, 20 days. But other than that, besides this 30-month period, I keep my ends tucked. It's the same thing with the low manipulation. If I'm in the house, I either have a head wrap on or my hair is pinned up, right? Why? Your ends are the oldest part of your hair, and for a lot of people, it is the weakest part of your hair, right? When we're talking about retention, we need to make sure that our ends are intact. This next one, which I know when someone always asks the question, how do you do this? How do you do that? And really just in everyday life, keep your hair regimen consistent, okay? Notice I didn't say complex. Notice I didn't say meticulous. Keep your hair care regimen simple. Keep it consistent. Again, if you are new to the community, welcome, but you will notice if you go and watch the rest of my videos or some other of my videos, my hair care regimen is very simple, okay? It's not complicated. It doesn't take 20,000 steps. However, because of the density of my hair and because of the length, it's going to take a little extra time. But the hair care within itself, or the regimen within itself, at its core is very basic, right? And I'll give you an example. I wash my hair every 2 to 3 weeks. Now, if I do have a mini twist, at the most, I will keep the mini twist in for 3 weeks, 2.5 or 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, my hair will begin to lock, okay? So at the most, it's going to be 3 weeks. I shampoo, I deep condition, I detangle, I install jumbo twist, I install mini twist. That's it. So let's say I do that on a Monday. I probably wouldn't have to touch my hair to re-moisturize probably on Thursday, right? When I am re-moisturizing, when I am detangling my hair, when I'm just doing finger detangling, I will take my scissors. If I see a little wonky end, I will snip it off. If I see a single strand knot, I will snip it off. That just comes with, that to me is maintenance. If I see it, I just snip it off, right? And I find that works wonders for me. One thing I will say about scissors, please make sure, whether you are doing it at home, whether you are doing search and destroy, whether you are looking for single knots, whether you are going to a cosmetologist, or whether you're going to a hairstylist, when it comes to your scissors, please make sure that you are using shears. Do not use the common household scissors to cut your hair. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They have them at the dollar store. They have them at Target. They have them at Walmart. Those are not for cutting hair. That is for cutting paper. That is for your daughter's paper mache project. Please do not use those for your hair. Please use shears. I will link some down below. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at Sally's. You can get them at Target. Please use shears. The next tip is deep conditioning. You guys heard that in my hair care regimen, I do deep condition. I deep condition every 2 weeks. Right now I'm using, I think it's the Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Deep Conditioning Mask. I leave it on for 30 minutes and I go about my day. There is no need nowadays to leave your deep conditioner on 3 hours, 4 hours overnight, right? We have technology. We have the research. It's not necessary, okay? What I will say as far as a deep condition, I have noticed a huge difference with me being consistent with the deep conditioning, but I have also noticed a huge difference in a game changer when I added amla powder to my deep conditioner. It's not difficult, it's just a little extra step, but I have noticed that adding amla powder to my deep conditioner has allowed me to retain more moisture, meaning that I do not have to re-moisturize or keep touching my hair as often as I did before. You guys heard me say that I re-moisturize my hair anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. With the amla powder, I have been able to get that down to once or twice a week, okay? I will link that down below. If you are wondering what it is also known as Indian gooseberry, and it is considered an India Ayurvedic herb, okay? Game changer, works wonders. The next tip is not letting my hair dry out. And this actually goes with the first 2 tips that I gave, or the last 2 tips, is make sure you are consistent with your hair care regimen and the deep condition, right? Not allowing my hair to dry out, I have seen a significant reduction in single strand knots, right? They are still there. I just think for me, they're always going to be there, but if I am able to greatly lower the risk of getting them, I'm all for it, right? There are some naturals who don't get it. Single fairy knot, what is that? I am not one of those naturals. I will say though, I have noticed that as my hair has gotten longer, that I see more of them, right? When my hair was shorter, I didn't get so many, but as my hair gets longer, I see more. But keeping my hair moisturized, keeping my regimen, with the search and destroy, being consistent has helped me combat it very, very, very easily, okay? But just making sure that your hair does not dry out. The next one is going to be scalp massages. And also this is another Indian Ayurvedic method, or how they care for hair. We have all seen the beautiful Indian ladies with the long, thick, luscious, shiny hair, right? Scalp massages. And if nothing else, they feel wonderful. I will say that. And I typically do my scalp massages with rosemary oil. I will see if I can find the research. I will see if I can find the article. I will link it down below. But rosemary there are a few studies, has scientifically proven or has shown that it can thicken hair if you're looking for a natural way to do it. Rogaine has an ingredient called mindoxal. There was a study that was done with rosemary oil in rats, and they showed that the rosemary oil gave just as much benefit as the mindoxal, okay? So if you're looking for a more natural route, I would suggest to you rosemary oil. We all know the controversy around Mielle. Their rosemary oil, Mielle Organics, that is probably going to be at the top of the list. But something very simple, you can hop on YouTube and you are able to make the rosemary oil itself. Smells wonderful, feels wonderful. When it comes to these scalp massages, I will see if I can link it down below, because I do actually break down the Indian scalp massage, because you do have a few pressure points that you need to hit. But it's just something that is very relaxing. I do it just typically, I would probably say anywhere from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 times a week. Usually about 30 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes each section. And I'm just literally sitting down watching TV. David and I are hanging out in the movie room. It's just something that is very soothing and can be very beneficial. Okay, the last 2 tips that I have for you guys today. The first one, I do not jump on bandwagons. I do not follow trends when it comes to my hair care. There are some methods that have been proven. I do have some methods myself that are tried and true. I do have products that I have been using since 2012 when I went natural, and there are some products that I have gotten rid of. But as far as these crazy trends, as far as these bandwagons, I have not hopped on any of them. I will give you a prime example. I cannot tell you, or I do not remember the year, but I remember I hopped on YouTube one year and there was this craze or this trend about using monostat on your scalp. And basically the idea behind it, because we all know what monostat is for, but basically the idea behind it is that it was to cleanse your scalp. It was to clean your scalp. A clean scalp promotes hair growth and you're able to retain your length. However, as I just said, we all know what monostat is for. I'm not sure if you are aware. I don't know where the trend came from, but the hair or the skin on your scalp and the skin in your private area are comprised of different things. Monostat was made for that specific area, okay? There was another one. As a matter of fact, I'll give you the perfect example right now. Curly cuts. Curly cuts are all of the rage right now. You have some people who it has worked wonders for. You have some people who are on the fence. And then you have some people who the curly cut has just destroyed their hair, okay? I've already said my piece about that. I will link it down below. But I do not hop on bandwagons. I do not hop on trends, especially if the trend comes out of nowhere. To me personally, the curly cut trend came out of nowhere. The monostat trend came out of nowhere, right? Another one, Diva Curl, which I was introduced to Diva Curl first by the products, and then I was introduced to the Diva Cut. As soon as I saw the process when using the Diva Curl products, my antennas immediately went up. I said, that's not for me. And then lo and behold, after I saw that video, I think like 3 or 4 years later, Diva Curl was, being sued in this class action lawsuit, right? So what I am saying to you is there is nothing wrong with experimenting. There's nothing wrong with trying something new. Just be very careful about the things that people are trying to market to you. I will give you another example, although this seems to be very popular in the UK. I don't know how popular it is here because I also did a video. Not a texturizer, but a texture release, which is supposed to be it's supposed to be healthier than a relaxer and a texturizer, right? All I am saying is when you are looking at these trends, when you are thinking about jumping on these bandwagons, just be very careful and be diligent. Now, if you are someone who doesn't care about the health of your hair, if you are someone who does not care about the retention of your hair, which you do because you're watching this video, but if you love to experiment, fine. What I will say to you is that notice a lot of the women who jump on bandwagons. Notice a lot of women who color their hair. Try this, try that. You notice that their hair stays a certain length. I'm not talking about a woman who chooses to keep her hair at a certain length and then every year she just cuts it. I'm just talking about a woman who loves to experiment, a woman who loves to try different things, right? You will notice a lot of those women have the same length or have their hair is the same length, okay? And my last tip, which is something that I wholeheartedly believe 100%, and I typically say it after every video or after I give tips, which to me, this is very, very, very important. You have to accept your hair for what it is. You have to be grateful for the hair that you have on your head now, or you will not be blessed with more, right? If you are not grateful, if you do not find beauty in your hair, if you do not know how to take care of your hair, if you do not accept your hair for what it is, for what it can do, for what it cannot do, for what it looks like, and for what it will never look like. If you just cannot accept your hair's beauty, you will never be blessed with more. I'm not trying to take you out of church. I'm not trying to be spiritual. I'm just saying, because of whoever or whatever you believe in, the man upstairs. If you are not grateful, if you cannot come to terms with, how beautiful your hair is just as it is, you're never going to be blessed with more, right? I wholeheartedly believe that, okay? So those are all of the tips that I have for you guys. If you have any questions, because I know that there were several questions in that previous video, if you have any hair questions, please link them down below. I will do my best to answer them. I do want to remind you that here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Usually this week is a little different, but usually Wednesday and Sunday. I will also put my Instagram handle right here or right here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. If you are new, welcome to the community, and I will see you in the new year. Bye.
We always have it coming.